What's up, everybody? Happy good day to you. Hope you're all doing well on this fine day. Had somebody ask me on one of my videos, he said, dude, you always seem happy. Don't you ever get depressed? And I thought about it, and I was like, actually, I know where he's coming from. He says he's 29 years old, and that he's going through some, depression, anxiety, and whatnot. And it got me thinking about when I was that age, because I'm 37 now, and about 8 years ago, I was going through some shit. And I could tie two ideas in that I wanted to express here. One of them is, how to conquer anxiety. Even 2 years ago, I'd get stressed out about work. I'd be thinking about what I'm going to do the next day, whether it was going to work out right. How am I going to get this cabinet installed? How am I going to cut this? And I'd dream about shapes and stuff because I'm a carpenter. And over a period of time, I really started to ask myself, because I went through the death phase. I don't know if everyone goes through it. I'm just assuming that a lot of my archetypal situations that I get involved in are common among all people, at least to an extent. You could talk about, say, the falling dreams, where everyone seems to have the same falling dream, or certain emotions, or certain responses to colors or whatnot. And I think people have the same kind of responses to stress and whatnot. And I think that everyone could benefit from knowing why they stress. And for me personally, I've always stressed about the dumb things. So, worrying about work the next day, or how am I going to deal with this problem that's coming up. So you don't want to abandon all stress, or else you get nothing done. But the thing is, the depression part of it. See, I stress the stress part because depression comes from the stress. When you start stressing out too much and worrying about all the crap you have to deal with. And when I was in my 30s, this thing I was going to talk about that I assume everyone has is they go through the death phase. You're young, you're strong, and then you hit a point in your life where it could be when you're 18, it could be when you're 38, but you realize that you're going to die. And everyone thinks about it all the time, but to an extent that it really starts to bother you. Not just that you're going to die, but that you have things to complete in your life, and you have expectations of yourself, and you have certain obligations, to fulfill. But even more than that, I think it's just a matter of that your consciousness is not going to carry on, and this is where faith comes in, and this is where faith became a dirty word. And I used to hate the word faith, and this is what turns atheists against Christians, and Christians against each other, what to base their faith on, and what really is faith. Now, I bring it up only because a lot of people that are opposed to religion or whatnot may say, they tend to use the insult that, having faith in a blind God, or having faith in blind, something you can't prove, or something whatnot. To me, that's the most important thing in life, to an extent, besides family, friendship, love, caring, is to have faith in something. And don't see faith meaning that you believe in an invisible God, because faith means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Faith to me just means realizing that there's something beyond, something greater than yourself. It doesn't have to be a God or a force, it can be anything. If you have faith in a friend, you have faith that they're going to pay you back when you loan them money, or you have faith they're going to help you when you need it. And when we have this faith behind our actions, it makes life more livable. And I have seen firsthand how it can change the way a person thinks when, I say, my personal faith is based on having faith that I have faith that what I'm doing in life is right. I have faith that my actions are correct. I have faith that if I do good things, then good things will happen to me. I have faith in karma to an extent. And I don't want people to think that the word faith just means that you're just a blind idiot and you just believe what's told to you. That's not how it is. Faith has to be based on reason. And once you've developed a basis for faith, and a foundation, a strong foundation of something that's more and greater than yourself, then all of a sudden the stresses and the depression just fall away. And the best way I've found to deal with it is, when you find yourself starting to get stressed out about something, sit back, analyze what it is, and ask yourself, is this something that's really worth stressing about? And you'll find that there are very few things. Look at the big picture. How is this going to affect me in 10 years? You know, stress is meant for moments where it will affect you in 10 years, like the stress of being in a dangerous situation, you know, fight or flight, where you know, if you don't act properly, you may be crippled or you may be dead. But, you know, if you're stressing over whether you're, you know, something that a coworker said or what kind of a task you're going to have the next day at work, over the things that you can't do anything about, then you're just causing yourself more grief than it's worth. So, I have faith in myself that I'll be able to accomplish the things that I want to do. When I want to quit smoking again, I know that I have to have faith in myself and my ability to do it. And on a side note, this is one of the biggest issues I've always had with AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, because they couldn't ever get past the first step. And the first step is admit that you're powerless over your drug of choice, and that nothing but a higher power can get you out of it, basically. And I never bought into that because I believe that you are your higher power. And there was always that misconception, you know, and knowing that you have the power within to change is the most important thing. And I understand how people can get sidetracked in asking externally for assistance, and that's okay, because when you're asking your God for assistance, you're doing nothing more than asking yourself and your fellow beings and the energy around you to work in your favor. So however you have to label it, that's fine, but just have faith in something, that your efforts aren't in vain. Because if we go along on this roller coaster ride and pretend like it's out of control, and that there is no fate, and it just is what it is, and we're all just here to just float along and die, you're going to stress out forever. And that's my opinion. That's just based on what I've seen. If a person can't develop a belief system that makes life understandable to them as an individual, then they will continue to stress. And I think this is the biggest issue we have right now with society, because people are trying to find that comfort zone and they're not quite sure how to attain it. So they take on a belief of someone else or something that was taught to them because it's easier than trying to find the truth for themselves. And then they get made fun of by someone who doesn't believe that. And so the only thing I can say is that if you want to have a true belief, an unshakable foundation of faith and belief, you have to base it on something within reason. You have to base it on your observations in the world. So, observe, react, don't stress. It's just not worth it. And the way that I conquered my stress was to purposefully will my mind to never get the butterflies in my stomach, and now I rarely get that. I used to see it every time I saw a cop. I could just be driving down the street and see a cop and I'd get butterflies in my stomach, even if I'm not doing anything wrong. It's that easy to stress if you get yourself into that situation. So take your stress under control, and it takes a couple of years to really master, but once you try, you can do it. So peace and love to everybody, and enjoy this beautiful summer.